Nigeria, by extension Africa, battles a growing youthful population, and with little or no meaningful engagement, leaves a ticking time bomb on our hands. We are a blessed continent with great wealth, both in people and material. Our focus on ways remains driving conversations that affects us all. Topics in the news, social concerns, politics, leadership, governance, empowerment, resource management, conflict management, finance, SME sustainability, technological innovation, food security, health, education, brain drain, our well-being, citizenship, and much more. Our goal is to continuously drive these conversations, keep them burning at the table to effect a positive change, both for our nation and continent. Ways, what are you saying, has a secret ingredient that completes the conversation every single episode, and that ingredient is you. Our past conversations shaped our yesterday. To shape our tomorrow, we must keep talking. So, I want to hear you. Be a part of our live conversations Mondays through Fridays. And let's all have our say.
All right, in today's digital age, fame can come quickly, especially for content creators, leveraging platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, and of course with the many others. Now, however, popularity often comes with unique challenges. The constant demand for fresh content, public scrutiny, balancing personal life with professional expectations, and staying true to oneself in the face of course, growing engagements. You are welcome to What Are You Saying? It's another exciting episode, and I remain your host, Osayiwa Mesale, and of course, I'm excited to be here. And Ways, you are the why in Ways. It is you that completes the conversation, so make sure you are a part of the conversation. Join in, share our links, be a part of the talk, call us when it's time, and let us have real conversations with you, because your opinion really does matter. We want to delve into the reality of navigating pressures amidst growing popularity. And I have a guest, right? Peter Akah is popularly called Randy Peters. He's a fast-rising content creator based in Lagos, Nigeria, and he is going to be joining me much later to have this conversation on navigating the pressures of popularity. So if you are yet to subscribe to our YouTube channel, head on there right now. It's at Official Upgrade TV. Hit the subscribe button, like, share, and invite your families and friends to watch. So I said earlier, when I opened the phone lines, I'd really love to hear your thoughts on pressures. How are you managing pressures, especially, in this age of social media and so much content all over the place? All right, so whilst we go to understand this topic, I would like us to ponder on this quote that says, popularity is a bubble. It's a mountain. You can go up really hard, but walk down really fast. I think you should just stew on this quote a little bit. When you're popular, you're actually living in a bubble. I really don't envy those people. So we'll talk more on this conversation and delve into the topic much later. But first, let me run off on a break. When I come back, I'll see what my news interests are for the day. Stay with me.
Tell us you're a Nigerian without saying a word. Energy security is one of the most pressing issues for many developing countries like Nigeria. And if there's going to be any meaningful progress, addressing our energy issues is non-negotiable.
I need to see light from my house. Make them do something.
Band A is expensive. I literally have to turn off all my appliances just to reduce costs.
We need light.
Introducing the Energy Outlook, your go-to show for everything energy. Every week, we'll bring you the latest insights, innovation, and in-depth analysis of Nigeria's energy sector. From policy discussions to regulatory insights, we will analyze the key decisions influencing growth, and sustainability in the energy sector. We'll bring you the human stories behind the headlines, giving you a personal perspective on the broader energy challenges. Join me every Friday at 6 p.m. for the Energy Outlook, your guide to the future of energy, where energy means business.
All right, thanks for staying tuned. Now, remember I was all by myself yesterday and I was talking about mediocrity, right, in this country and how we can see, how it's impacting us as a nation. So I found two interesting stories that I actually thought to share because again, somehow is linked to the subject of mediocrity. So there's a Nigerian nurse that actually, I think she went on Twitter, and of course you call it X now. She went there and she was ranting. So according to the report, she had posted something that said, this Lagos is a smelly city. People smell, the streets smell, the gutters smell, the waters smell, everything is smelly. I'm tired. And of course, everybody, her name is Ugbede Ojo. Everybody, there was a lot of backlash. How can you talk about your city? It's disrespectful. How can you be criticizing your city? So she tweeted this in November, right? And it sparked so many mixed reactions, while some, of course, defended her that she had the right to express her views. Others were very, very critical of her expression, saying that, no, that's very disrespectful to Lagos and its residents. The question I ask, right, first of all, I didn't see that viral tweet. It is because of the story now that I'm hearing about her. But first of all, has she said any lie in that? Has she said any lie? Like, we live in a very dirty environment, like literally everywhere. I remember the first time I went to New York, right? And by the time I landed and, they took me to the place where I was, I said, is this the New York that people talk about all over the whatever? This place is stinky, smelly, whatever. My uncle took offense. Why would I say that? I said, it's smelly now because, if you go to Dubai, you go and see how places are. But that does not mean that even in the Dubai, there are no smelly areas. So I digress a little. Let me just come back to the story. Well, she has found a job, right, an international job, and she's leaving Nigeria. Or she's left Nigeria. She's gotten an international job as a nurse. The point I'm trying to make is that the kinds of things that we lose to mediocrity in this country, I don't get it. The question I ask is, where's the lie in the story? What has she lied about when she says Lagos is smelling, everywhere is smelling, the streets are smelling, people are smelling? She has not said a lie. So I feel like sometimes in the bid to want to, yes, there's a side of patriotism, but we also need to be clear in analyzing our true situation so we will truly find real solutions to some of our problems. Go to the streets, you see so many litters everywhere is dirty. Just go. The other day that I got stuck, I was going through the Idumota market and all of that. The time the 3rd Milan Bridge was closed during Fashola's dispensation. I know what I went through. When I saw the dead, I couldn't believe that this is the same Lagos. Go to some places in Lagos, you'll be shocked, So we need to really do better. She has not said a lie. And I think, instead of criticizing her, let us look at the things she said and let us try to address it. So congratulations to her, Ugbede Ojo, for your new job. Sadly, nobody can tell you not to japa because, again, this is where we are in. We're in a country that don't respect, different things. So for people that have the capacity to be able to get better things, better opportunities, why not? Nobody can stop you. So I'll move on to my next story. I'm still trying to understand why this happened, but I thought it was important to also talk about it because I feel like there's still a little bit of what I said. The anyhowness, you don't want to put structures in things and all of that. So whilst Globalcom is a very, very huge company, right, I know that several times I've had different kinds of reports on how it seems like it's still being operated like a one-man business, right? Because decisions that are being made, it has to come from a particular person and all of that. For the size of that company, it's a bit worrisome, because it means that we are not ready to run businesses in the country beyond the founders. And this is why we don't have long sustained businesses. Sometimes when the founders are no more or they're incapacitated and all of that, you start to see a lot of lapses showing up. So this story says that the Globalcom CEO, Ahmad Farouk, resigns after 1 month in office. So the report that he had left the position as the CEO of the Nigerian telecoms company Globalcom just 1 month after his appointment in October of 2024, that according to Tech Cabal, his sudden departure appears to be linked to the challenges within the company's organizational structure. See what I said, right? So according to this report, the management style was a challenge for him, who was used to working at companies with more modern management styles from his time at other phone companies like MTN and Smile Communications. Now, this leadership crisis comes at a particularly challenging time for Globalcom because the Nigerian Communications Commission recently punished them for not properly registering over 40 million of their customers' ID. Because of this mistake, Globalcom lost more than half of its customers, and now it controls only 12% of the Nigerian phone market, much less than its competitors, MTN and Airtel. So this is the price we pay for not doing things properly. This is the price we pay for not putting proper structures. So no matter how great or big your organization is, right, without the right foundations, without the right structures, it will still crumble. And that's why I would say to any small business, don't look at your business that, oh, we're a small company. As much as we can. Even here, too, we're trying to. It's not an easy thing because, again, I feel like the mindset of the people working within small organizations, they have to really, really work on their mindset and their approach to work. Because you, as a small business owner, right, no matter how much you want to put in the right structures, you know, if you're working with the people that just see it as, oh, or maybe I'm passing time, or I'm just here for a bit, or it's a small company, let me just do what I feel like doing and all of that, we'll continue to have problems. We won't grow beyond where we are in terms of our structural processes within small businesses in Nigeria. So please, this is a lesson for us, right? It's a lesson for us because no matter how small your company is now, be intentional about putting structures. Then no matter how big you are, don't think that, you know, if you are not intentional about your structures, no, nothing can happen. No, see, this is what has happened now. So yeah, I just thought to mention that. Then I'll talk about the final story. I found this video, and I found it very disturbing because I think I listened to the news in passing about some death that happened as a result of a tanker, what's it called, spilling fuel and, of course, catching fire and all of that. Then I saw this video. So this is a recent one that just happened now, right? And as you can see, this is despite all the warnings where they say that, please, whenever there's a tanker, whenever there's a this, with all these warnings, you still see people. Because you see, the spark or the fire might not even come from maybe somebody smoking or anything. That spark or fire can even come from a vehicle or something. It just can come from anywhere. It can even come from the rays of the sun, if the sun is high enough, because some of these things, they also evaporate as vapor in the air, and if there's anything can trigger a fire. I don't know how else we can drill this into the minds of Nigerians, that it is not safe, no matter how you think, oh, fuel is 960 naira, some people are buying 1,000 plus and all of that. Let me just quickly go and scoop what I can scoop. I'll just scoop my own and go. That is what you're thinking, but you do not know the split second that this thing can actually trigger a fire. You don't know. So I don't know what else to say, honestly. It is just sad. Seeing this, and I know all the, the kinds of warnings and the kinds of advocacy that has gone around when you see a tanker that is spilling out fuel, run away, blah, blah, blah. But yet, you still see a lot of people going to go and get buckets, going to go and get different things, all in the name of, oh, I want to scoop fuel. So it is well. I'll take a break now. When I come back from that break, hopefully, I have my guest and we'll discuss navigating the pressures, especially amidst popularity. Stay with us.
Life is made up of moments, some that fill us with joy, others that test our strength. Welcome to to Heartlines. This is our space to explore the highs and lows of human connection, the love, the heartbreak, and resilience that shapes our life. From relationships to friendships, parenting to partnerships, and so much more. Every week, we share stories and conversations that define us, navigating love, separations, the struggles of parenting, dealing with anxiety and managing the pressures and stress of life. Real conversations that bring us closer, helping us heal, grow, and connect. So join me Mondays through Fridays at 10 p.m. for Heartlines, the show where we connect hearts, have real conversations with real people, one story at a time.
Okay, so whilst I await my guest, I want to kickstart this conversation, by trying to explain why we chose this topic. You know how things have just been going on with, different kinds of stories around ritual killings, internet fraud, different kinds of fraud, and all of that. It's important for us to understand that because we live in a society where we have so many, so many things like bombarding you left, right, and center. If it's not on your phone, it's on a billboard. If it's not on a billboard, it's on TV, it's not on TV, it's everywhere. Like literally, we are bombarded with so much information. And as it stands, right, because we are bombarded with so much information, it then leaves room for our minds to keep on racing. And, then that pressure begins to set in. I don't think I'm doing enough. I mean, I just looked at Nancy Siemens' Instagram just before we came live now. She's in a private jet. She's coming down from a private jet, entering a big car, entering this, entering that, this, that. See, the pressure is real, right? The pressure is real. And I feel like it is because of that pressure that some of these nuances that we see has heightened, right? So it's important to understand that, this topic is relevant, especially for young creatives in Nigeria, because the truth is we have a very youthful population in Nigeria. And people must understand that these young creatives that are burgeoning the content creation scene or the content scene, they need to have clarity that the rise of, social media, digital platform has made fame more accessible than ever before. At the same time, in as much as it has brought fame and made it more accessible, it has also brought a lot of, it has brought a lot of, would I say, loopholes for envy or all of those kind of things to also set in, right? So these are the real challenges that people face when it comes to issues around, fame and all of that. So, and of course, Nigerian content creators are gaining global recognition, as you already know. But with that also comes the same pressure too as well, right? Of constantly trying to deliver, face public scrutiny, navigate the competition, of course, in this very fast-paced industry. So the pressures, right, can really take a toll on our mental health, on our creativity, our relationship, our lives, right? It can just completely overwhelm us, and we need to address this conversation. And for us to do that, we have to be able to provide some valuable insights, right? I really wanted our guest today to just share, because he's one person that I've looked out for. He's growing, and he's growing very steadily and all of that. And I know that there are real pressures that might really come with that growth. So I really want him to be able to share, some of these things, so that people can see that, it's not all of that. There are also strategies that you can take to be able to thrive amidst some of these challenges. How do you keep your sanity? How do you ensure that as a creator you are sustaining, you can sustain your passion, and you can also stay grounded. You can also while you're staying grounded, you're also impacting the people that you're called to impact. You know, not forgetting that you also need to understand that it takes time to succeed, right? I'm just hoping that if we're able to thrash some of these conversations or shed more light on it, this craze for ritual killing and the craze for fame and all of that might be curbed. I mean, the other day I saw a young boy that said that had killed his mother because he was asked to bring the pubic hair of the mother. He actually murdered her, threw her inside a well, you know, and they eventually, of course, the community, after they didn't find her for a bit, they started searching. They eventually found her in a well. And by the time they checked, her pubic hair area had been gone, taken out. They found the boy in a shrine. There's just too many things. We are not done with Ajayi Timileyin. There was another boy, I think a week or 2 weeks after that. This time around, it's not even one severed head, it's 2 human heads. And I still keep on asking, why is it always young girls and women that they use for these things? Is it that, you know, so it means that there must be something about women, right? So why don't we start to look for alternative means to harness that potential that women have, as opposed just, you know, thinking of all these ritual killings and all of that. And these things are not unique to Nigeria, because I actually saw a video, somebody that lives abroad, right, that was also talking about ritual killings, how he sacrificed, you know, his own son and all of those things. So it is actually not unique to Nigeria. When we talk about things around rituals and all of that, it's not. But you see, I can tell you for free that the reason these things are on a rise is because, first of all, on one hand, there's economic hardship. On the other hand, right, we're seeing a rise in a lot of flaunting of things and all of that on social media. So as you're doing that, you're seeing, if somebody comes to tell you, oh, this is how I got my money, it will be like a no-brainer. Of course not. So if it can work for you, it can work for me. So that's what we're seeing, and it's becoming a lot more alarming, right? Hopefully, I'll be able to have Peter. But in your own assessment, right, what do you think we can start to do, right, as a people? Because I feel like in all of these things, right, this pressure, there's a huge role we as people have to play. See, you walk into a room, right, and maybe you're just, I would just say decently dressed, not too flashy, not too whatever. I can bet you that there is loss of respect. People don't, you know, because they feel like affluence, they feel like the way you look and all of that should command how they respond to you, whether they would choose to respect you or not. The kind of cars that you drive, the kind of gadgets that you're using, the jewelries you're wearing, like literally, when you walk into the room, any room, people size you up. This is what we do. It has become part and parcel of us, right? We size people up. And by the time I look at you from head to toe, I see the shoe you're wearing and everything. And that's why you see a lot of people are very, very intentional about getting all the designers. If you want to look for me for designer, you will not find me there. Because I think my priorities are really straight, right? I know what I am prioritizing per time. Right? There are some things that would come, but it will come much later in life. I don't need those things now. But I can tell you that these pressures are real, and it comes from a place where also our society has, you know, intentionally shaped it in a way that if you do not look a certain part, you're not deserving of respect, you're not deserving of, you know, even the attention, you're not deserving of anything. I mean, we've heard stories of how people would say that they will go to their family meetings. This is now not even an external person, family meeting. And somebody will tell you that you do not, please shut up when they are talking. Even though maybe by virtue of, positioning, you might be the person that is even positioned to probably take decisions and all of that in terms of hierarchical structure. But because there's no money in your pocket, of course, they will tell you to keep quiet. These are the things. These are the real issues. And it then gets worse for people that have decided that, you know what, they want to choose the life of content creation or the life of social media and all of that as their craft, as their career. Because now, when you are inside that social media space, you're choosing content creation, you're choosing all of those things. What eventually happens is that you subtly, you are comparing yourself with the people that have gone ahead of you. You forget that they started from somewhere, right? You forget that they also had something, you know, that there was a time where nobody knew them. You know, I mean, if you go and check the history of most of the content creators that are successful today, most of them started like long ago. In fact, they started with very, very cheap gadgets. They started with, but they were just consistent. And that is why today they are being celebrated. They have lots of followers. They have people following them. The boy that blew up during COVID, the lockdown, Kabi, the guy that, he doesn't talk. He just, makes different skits and all of that. That, from the reports that I read, he had been doing that. He was a very, very unsuccessful human being. Like literally a wretch. He was a nobody, he was this, he was that. But because of the boredom that happened with COVID, again, you need to understand that times and season. A lot of people were looking for anything to just keep them company, right? And that was how, people took interest in his skits. Today, he has met almost all the top stars in the world, both in the football space, in the music space, and he's doing skits, doing different things, and he's being paid heavily. He has massive endorsements. But if you go back to trace his history, you would know that that did not happen. It was not an overnight success. He had been doing it, but he was not just successful. And that's why I need people to understand that there's always a time, where that thing will just click and all of a sudden you become, the sensation. You are now on the lips of everybody. And there's something I've also observed with us as humans, right? Nobody feels you. Like, literally, you can just be there. But guess what happens eventually? Once you start to gain popularity, all of a sudden, everybody wants to be in your corner. Everybody wants you in their events. They're inviting you everywhere. I mean, that's what is happening. If you look at this chest to slum guy, the guy that did the Guinness World Record, I'll tell a quick story. And I have pictures to show for it, I'm very passionate about young people. So what I did was, in 2017, I started the biggest board game tournament. I can beat my chest, I would say, in West Africa or even in the whole of Africa, right? We started doing those board game tournaments, bringing children together. And I remember one of those particular year, the 2018 edition, I saw pictures, and I was literally shocked to my bones. And I saw your chess master, Tunde Odokoya, there. This was what I think my event inspired him. Not that I know my event inspired him, because it was shortly after that event he then took chess to slum seriously, and he started, intentionally pushing it. Look at what he's doing today now. Everybody wants him to, he's getting endorsement again. So you need to understand that as a human being, what you have control over is how you do your thing, how you're consistent, how you continue to put in the work, how you're disciplined, how you're doing all of that. The time that fame and popularity will come, right, it will just come. But your part is to just stay consistent. All right? So that's like the explanation I can give when it comes to managing the pressures amidst popularity. But you know what? I'll go on a break. Hopefully, my guest will be here. But if not, I'll just keep going, I've realized that I know how to talk very well. And I can talk for hours if you leave me. But hey, if he's here, we'll then have him on the show. Stay with me.
Nigeria, by extension Africa, battles a growing youthful population, and with little or no meaningful engagement, leaves a ticking time bomb on our hands. We are a blessed continent with great wealth, both in people and material. Our focus on ways remains driving conversations that affects us all. Topics in the news, social concerns, politics, leadership, governance, empowerment, resource management, conflict management, finance, SME sustainability, technological innovation, food security, health, education, brain drain, our well-being, citizenship, and much more. Our goal is to continuously drive these conversations, keep them burning at the table to effect a positive change both for our nation and continent. Ways What Are You Saying has a secret ingredient that completes the conversation every single episode, and that ingredient is you. Our past conversations shaped our yesterday. To shape our tomorrow, we must keep talking. So, I want to hear you. Be a part of our live conversations Mondays through Fridays. And let's all have our say.
All right, thanks for staying with us. So, my guest has made me to say all the long grammar. I was not planning to talk today, but I think he planned it. But thank you so much, Peter Akah, for joining me this evening. Welcome. Welcome. I'm really happy to have you here, and congratulations again. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
How old did you turn?
A year older.
Please tell us the age.
Old enough to run office.
So it's safe to say that you are now a friend of the house.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining. So CN, this conversation.
Yes.
Let me quickly run through why I wanted you in particular to be our guest for the conversation. You know how people are starting different things, and all of a sudden you're not realizing, oh, am I failing at this thing? You look ahead and see people that are doing other things, and you're not wondering, how do I do it? And all of that. I feel like in that requires a lot of control, because if you are not controlled in terms of the pressures that come with that stance, you might find yourself doing wrong things.
Yes.
Give an example. The young gospel artist that said that was caught with a severed head.
Yeah.
Recently, again, they said they caught another person with 2 severed heads.
Yes.
One boy was caught, he killed his mother, threw her in a well, and took her private part to go and do whatever it is. So I'm saying that all these things that are happening, it's linked to the fact that people are pressured to want to succeed, or pressure to, popularity and all of that. Yeah. You are somebody that, you are very consistent with skits. You're consistent with putting yourself out there and your brand out there on social media, right? But if you want to look at it based on the measurement of success, how Nigerians classify success. You never buy Range Rover. You never buy you never buy House of Banana Island. You understand?
Still squatting.
Yeah, I didn't know that one. But you see, like literally, right?
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to talk to you.
Yes.
How are you managing pressures that come with, because you are a popular face. You cannot take away popularity from your name right now. People will see you and say, I know you. But they will not say, why they track now? Why, how are you managing?
Well, I thank you very much once again. I'm able to manage all of this because of my own personal, upbringing and experience. And I have decided to personally, because if I leave it to even my upbringing, there are lots of pressures that, because sometimes it comes to me, it gets to me, that you ought to, maybe should be able to afford, do this or be here or be there. But when you consciously, bridle your ambitions such that you know that there is time for everything, and that if you continue to work hard, somehow it pays off, and whatever it is that you wish to have, you will eventually have. And that even when you do not have them, you should not lose yourself in the course of trying to achieve those things. But I understand very clearly that it is not so with a lot of persons, and I'm sure we are going to get into that, because there are a whole lot of factors that will put in that pressure, and it is difficult. It is honestly difficult for you to continue to hold on in a society like ours. Yes.
So do you think these people that are being led to go commit murder in the name of ritual for whatever, do you think they are actually people that do these things and they actually pressure these people? Do you think so?
Yes, there is a whole lot of pressure that comes with it. Look, let us be realistic. What exactly is ritual? If you understand the meaning and then why people go into it, there is a lot of desperation. People want to get wealth. People are desperate to get money and fame or whatever it is. Why? Because we have built a society that celebrates and adores affluence no matter how you get it. In Nigeria, the important thing is make money. It doesn't matter how you make that money. And then again, there is a tripartite factor. The major problem is government because people are beginning to see it. And then the only place where you are supposed to get succor, which are religious institutions, have inadvertently become accomplices to this issue. Because you go to churches, you go to mosques, you go wherever.
You don't look the part and they put you at the back.
I mean, you can be a public office holder who embezzles. You literally steal government money. You go there, they say, we need a church project, we need a mosque, whatever project, we give 200 million. Nobody asks from where. The important thing is there is a testimony our project is done. The fabric of society where our value system was rewarded is no longer there. What Nigeria rewards is corruption and criminality. So that is why you see what is going on. And then again, even when it is a crime, normally you are supposed to have law enforcement to be able to prosecute them. What law enforcement? This criminal justice system we have. Because when there is no punishment or consequence, there's no deterrence. How many cases of rituals have been investigated and prosecuted to a reasonable conclusion and everyone who was linked to it actually named? What if there were prominent persons who were involved? Has it gotten to that point? If you don't get to that point, then you are only telling people when there is bad governance, it does not excuse crime, but it can explain it.
Prosecution and reasonable conclusion. Because the truth is that you can trace that ritual.
Yes.
For every ritual, for every person that's been killed, it can be traced.
You can.
You can be traced. So, it's sad. So, but I want to ask you a personal question, though, right? Because I know that Randy Peters that is all over the place right now, that people are excited about your skit, commenting and all. You didn't just start like that. At all. There was a time where it was just one view. There was a time it was zero view.
No, like zero view. Should I delete? Should I
not? You get my point.
Yes.
So how were you able to understand that that was the time and that was the season?
I have personally, I took the pain upon myself to train myself to understand that, look, no matter what comes to you, you should just be grateful for the little things you have, that I'm able to live life when I still have my head on my shoulders. I'm a human being. I could sleep and not wake up.
True.
So if you are grateful for the little that you have and the opportunity, because everything you have is an experience. The wealth I am struggling to get, at some point, if I buy a Range Rover 2015 or 2025 today, by next year it will be obsolete because there will be a 2026
What is
version.
next year? 1 month
by
after.
One month
They will bring a new version.
So until we as human beings come to the understanding that our needs are not so many, our needs are few, but our wants are what we are trying to get, and they are insatiable. A person wants to have a house in Banana Island, you want to have in Asokoro, you want to have in Dubai, you want to have in London, you want to have in New Orleans. You can only live in one part-time. And it is because you are seeing people who are in government continuously doing this thing. There is no greater ritual than what Nigerian politicians do. Stealing money that was meant for the life and welfare of other people. So what is the incentive not to commit crime? So no matter how much, I can sit here and try to tell you that, okay, I'm trying to do this, I'm talking to myself and all of that. There are certain religious houses you will go, even in Nigeria, where it is supposed to be a leveler for everybody. You will come out depressed because you know the class of persons here are not yours.
They invited me to one. I no go.
You no go. When you see somebody
one famous church like that. No. I cannot go to a church where people say they go size me.
Oh.
Say, I no go
They
to
don't
church.
even need to size you. On your own, you will look at everybody around you and you say, no. The next time you want to, you say, no, let me go to the church close to me, where somebody to wear slippers.
And they go respect you.
Will respect and honor you. It is a very upside down society we live in. And if we don't fix it, we are not getting to the end of what we are talking about.
Have somebody ever come to tell you, say, with all your popularity, see the shoe way they wear, like mockery?
I mean...
Have you faced that?
I have. In fact, someone saw me in a bus recently because, of course, I didn't have cash, to order a ride and I needed to get somewhere. So now you see me put on mask and all of that. But some people are very, very sensitive. They will still know. So the person looks through the face cap and looks through the mask and say, current affairs. So I was trying not to. He said, I know you now. He said, you will know all the presidents of Africa. You no get money. Now, true, people with these people like this, they know they get money. And do you know it is a consistent comment on all of the videos I put out? They say Nigeria will never reward something like this. Nigeria, at a point, I continue to encourage myself and say, no, it is not true. I can earn a fortune. Their intellect is good and it is good to put out. But sometimes you begin to sit and you say, is it truly your reality? I ask myself, I wake up and when I'm praying, I'm talking to God, do you not reward diligence? You don't reward intelligence. You don't reward things that are genuine. So everybody has to be profane. So the society has to, is that what it takes? And that is where I still am. And it is a struggle. And if you live in a society, because there are people who are not doing what you are doing, and by the time they cut corners and they do this and do that, the next thing, and everybody is all over them. And that is how the society that we live in work. So it is not an easy thing for young people who are out there trying to get it the legal and legitimate way. Okay. It is not. It is like firewalls.
Absolutely. You can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-4663. You can also call our phone lines if you're available to talk, 07025007749 or 07014242420. I mean, you are actually, you see why this conversation was meant for us to have. You know, this year I'm very intentional about impactful conversations. Let's not just talk because we want to be on TV.
Yes.
It's important. Somebody would hear this tomorrow and say, okay, yes, I'm not alone. Because it's the reality.
It is.
With all the things you do, so you never still blow. They're not inviting you to all the high profile. And you know, we are very classist in Nigeria. Yeah. Lagos even makes it worse. How has it been, like, you know, doing all of these things, living in Lagos? How has that been for you?
Do you know it can be so tough that sometimes you see fellow, you know, this content creation and, you know, entertainment industry, it is another, you know, circus on its own, where there are stratas and layers to everything. And then somebody wants to work with you, and then they are looking at what has he been able to achieve materially. You know, when he came, who dropped him off? Who is picking him off? What is the sophistication of your device? And all of that. And even when people genuinely have been placed in positions where they should assist you, they want someone who they can also rub off from. So that is the kind of, you know, situation you find yourself. So sometimes you just want to go crawl back into your shell and struggle on your own until the day that light of God shines upon you. And the good thing that you should have faith about is that the world and God truly rewards genuine efforts. No matter what you see as the pressures, once you stay true to what you're doing and you know your onion, even if people want to look down upon you because you have not been able to achieve certain material, you know, wealth or whatever, they will come to respect your person if you stay true. But it is difficult. But when you continue to do it gradually, I have seen people who, you know, climbed. It was tough. It will be rigorous. It will seem like the world is crumbling upon your shoulders. But let's just continue to try. Let's just continue to keep it. That is how I wake up every day. And I say, okay, today I know that it will be better, and like that, and like that. One day, it go better.
It go better. Oh. Because you see, this is not the real cocoa. Because you see, I keep on, when these issues around ritual killing started increasing, I kept on, I said, no, it cannot be.
Yeah.
There has to, you understand, like my mind kept on racing. Why?
Yeah.
What will get me to that point? Osayiwa Mesali. Say I go carry my two left leg. Say I won't go carry knife. Kill person, cut the person head. Say I won't go give up. Like, literally, what would drive me to that point? Do you understand?
Where you lose your common humanity.
Yes.
I mean, there are certain persons, as I am, if you're killing a fowl around me or a
goat, go shake me for body.
You see me running.
Fish, when they caught fish
when it is still alive and jerking like this. So imagine when you lose your soul and your conscience. It is a complete system failure. It has everything to do with leadership. It has everything. And because our leadership is dysfunctional, the family system has become dysfunctional. People, you know, there is so much going on about having baby mamas. It is almost unceremonious for you to even marry and have a family. People see you as even not being reasonable. Everybody wants to just give birth, and then you have a lot of people who have absentee parents. Children are just growing. And then this young age and generation, where people are so ambitious and everybody wants to get something. And then the religious community. I saw there is a video of a certain clergy in Nigeria, a popular person who was requesting a long time ago, requesting for 100 members of his congregation who would contribute 1 billion. That is, he needed 100 billion. Yes. He needed 100 people to contribute 1 billion. And then you ask yourself, what are the businesses of these persons? What is their profit after tax? What exactly do they do? So there are persons in Nigeria who can afford to give 1 billion. The video was on social media. A Nigerian cleric. So,
1 billion.
so because we need 100 billion and we don't need everybody to contribute. We need just a selected few. Where would those people come from?
Hey! We far.
Yes. So that is the Nigerian situation. The entire fabric of our society, where there were value systems, where people thought that there were reward for hard work. That is why you hear the popular slogan now, school na scam. It is very, very prominent among young people. They believe that it is a waste of time. I mean, what do you want to go to school when a certificate forger can become your governor, can become senator, can appropriate billions to himself? So why are you doing that? If we don't fix that system, ritual no be today. 2022, in fact, the Speaker of the House of Reps said they should order a state of emergency on ritual, then Speaker Dogara, when Buhari was still around.
Yeah.
We are in 2025. Within 2022 and 2023, January to January of 2023, and we had more than 130 killings of rituals, according to the United reports. I'm sure you read that report.
I saw it, yeah.
We are still increasing. These are human beings. Now, children killing parents, brothers killing sisters. Are we getting better? Are we retrogressing, or is it getting worse?
Now, because we are a very conscious society, right, where we are just very driven by what we see.
Yes.
Right? How do we start to reverse some of these things? Because whether you like it or not, before, not just Facebook.
Yes.
You see, Bola don't buy car. Hey? Now, you are seeing her lifestyle per minute, per second. She's posting, she's doing
On
all
Snap,
of those
everything.
things. Because I remember in China, I don't know if you followed that report, that China said they should not be posting flashy things online anymore. That is distorting the mental health of people.
Other people,
Do you understand? So how do we solve this problem? Because you see, whether we like it or not, it's very clear. We have a systemic leadership problem, right? But there's also the part of you, because I remember when you started your opening, you said that based on your upbringing, my father taught us to be content.
Yes.
There are so many things I would have done to blow.
Yeah.
You understand? There are so many things I don't do to blow.
Of course.
But the blow and my conscience, something is more important to me than just to blow. So how do we start to intentionally reverse some of these things?
Should I be honest with you? It will be difficult to do it on an individual basis, especially because it takes a society to raise a child. It takes a village. And what you are able to withstand, the threshold of your own pain or, elasticity of that threshold is not same with mine. It's not same with even a sibling that you were born together with.
Sure.
What I will be able to endure from the same teaching from the same parents may not be what my other sibling will take. So sometimes it's not because parents did not even instill the discipline they were supposed to. What the society now begins to predispose you to. That is why we must come to the point where, as we are doing this enlightenment, talking to people, making people understand from the cradle, letting people know, it must balance with the leadership and government, the structure, the system, where people believe that hard work pays, that there is a reward.
Imbibed in our curriculum.
In our curriculum. So that as you grow, you see it. Not that if I continue to tell you that don't worry, work and pray, everything will be okay. And you work and pray. And then somebody comes from somewhere, does one thing and does one thing. And before you know, they are this and that. And they are celebrated everywhere. No matter how strong you are, it shakes the core of your humanity.
Why do I need to?
Why do I need to? Why do I? And nobody really cares. In your village, in your family meeting, the person will get money and ain't going to go talk. If you know the meeting no go home. If you like, be the elder brother. In fact, my youngest sister told me that my elder brother will get money that they call brother. The one we don't get it, they call him by his name. That is how it is. So we are going to solve it through the enlightenment and so, but it cannot work. It cannot work standing alone. We must build a system that rewards it. If we continue to feed criminality and corruption, that is what we nurture, that will develop. People will gravitate towards it. Where a fraudster can become anything. If Hush Puppy was in Nigeria, do you think he will be in jail?
Nope.
I mean, what are we saying?
So even just to touch on what you said, because I'd mentioned it earlier before you came. There was a time where every child you meet, they want to become entertainers. They want to be. I said, see, you can't blame them.
Yeah.
It is what they are seeing. They are seeing Davido, they are seeing Whiskey, they are seeing Burna Boy. I mean, the flashy life is everything. So I now decided, you know what, to flip the coin. I don't know if you've seen the movie Queen of Catway. It was my pastor that recommended it in church, Daystar Samademi. He recommended that movie. By the time I watched that movie, I was in tears. I saw how the intellectual capacity of a young girl changed the life of our entire family just because she was gifted in the game of chess. And that was what birthed my foundation, where I now started putting children together to play the game of chess, Scrabble, and Ayo. So the goal was to reward the intellect.
Yeah.
So just like you go into Big Brother house now, they will give you 90 million,
Yes.
and whatever, 100 million and all of that. That time, before my event started in 2017, if you went for a spelling bee competition or any intellectual competition, Scrabble competition, now handshake they go give you. Some go even give you exercise book as gift. So you, as a human being, which one you go pick?
Okay.
If I go sit down, go shake bum for two days,
drink alcohol, do whatever,
and they go give me 90 million.
Millions.
Why I not go risk and make I go there? I will not go to this one. Why would I go to an event where they will just say thank you for coming? So that was how we changed the narrative and now started the board game tournament. It was really huge. We experienced actions, and I'm hoping to bring it back this year. The goal was to reward intellect. So it was my event that started seeing intellectual events being given laptops. We didn't have a lot. These things I'm telling you, I emptied my account for it. It's not like I had so much money, because even when you meet corporate organizations, they will tell you no ROI. I keep on asking them, the Whiskey, the video, and all those people you are giving money to, what is the ROI? So even with the corporates, they are not balancing this thing. No. If somebody brings an intellectual event or an event that has some good moral grounds, also share the money, spread it. No. They were not doing that. So it was almost like, I bet there's nothing, there's no popularity here. It affects everything. Well, I can tell you for free that I know how many lives were touched. One of the parents saw me last year. Her daughter won in 2018. The laptop the daughter won was what she used till 400 level medical school last year. She was telling me that she was just about to change the laptop. That, see, God will bless you, God will bless you. But you see, we need more of people that are interested in pushing better narratives. So if the balance is not there, it will be difficult for us to grow. So I get you. Completely. I get you. But you see, beyond the government, how can people, individuals, because what I'm saying now, if private sector even came to say, you know what, I see what you're doing, take this money, add it to whatever it is you're doing, would have gone further than where we are today. So how do we start to intentionally push that consciousness that there is a pressure that...
And even will not fund. If you put Nigerian spelling bee or something, look at the viewing on TV and then compare it to that of a Big Brother or whatever any other social show. That is where the psyche of the society has been pulled. True. It will now take another reorientation for us to now pull it back to what it is supposed to be. Entertainment is not bad, but it should not take us from the core of our humanity, especially when it is beginning to breed social vices and ills. So I completely agree with the fact that in our little quotas, you're doing what you're trying to do. If somebody else, imagine a company that has the capacity and resources, say that, okay, let us see what... A student graduated with first class in one university somewhere in Lagos, so was given one cock, one fowl, and I think a tuber of yam or so. That is first class graduate in Nigeria.
Oh, God.
Spending 5 years reading, they say, come out with 4 point this, 4 point that. They gave him handshake and one fowl, and I think 2 tubers of yam. So imagine another person who came out with third class, you say, see this one. So this is what...
God help us.
So we have to, of course, we are going to continue to do what we can do as private individuals, but let us also put pressure to get a government that balances it. If not, it becomes overbearing, and even the private individuals will begin to grow weary.
Absolutely. Oh, my God. You see why we wanted you to come in earlier? But hey... That's the much you can take, definitely. You are the friend of the house, you have to stay. But thank you so much. I mean, this was impactful, and now you see why I said you should come on the show. He was asking me, are you sure I'm the person? Are you sure
you don't want to get someone?
But thank you so much, Peter.
Always a pleasure.
All right, thanks for staying with us, and thanks for watching. Now, please remember to go subscribe to our YouTube channel at Official Upgrade TV. You can like, share, invite your families and friends to watch and follow the conversation. If you missed our quote for today, it says, popularity is a bubble. It's a mountain. You can go up really hard, but walk down really fast. You need to understand that popularity is a bubble. So don't be carried away, right? And focus on the important things that needs to be done. I'll see you tomorrow at 8 p.m. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Nigeria, by extension Africa, battles a growing youthful population, and with little or no meaningful engagement, leaves a ticking time bomb on our hands. We are a blessed continent with great wealth, both in people and material. Our focus on ways remains driving conversations that affects us all. Topics in the news, social concerns, politics, leadership, governance, empowerment, resource management, conflict management, finance, SME sustainability, technological innovation, food security, health, education, brain drain, our well-being, citizenship, and much more. Our goal is to continuously drive these conversations, keep them burning at the table to effect a positive change, both for our nation and continent. Ways, what are you saying, has a secret ingredient that completes the conversation every single episode, and that ingredient is you. Our past conversations shaped our yesterday. To shape our tomorrow, we must keep talking. So, I want to hear you. Be a part of our live conversations Mondays through Fridays. And let's all have our say.